Hello and welcome to the Global Conflict Report. Not a whole lot going on in Global Conflict 1 at the moment. Pretty much the entire server has folded over to what's likely going to be House 19. That's why I'm not in that world at the moment. The general of House 15 went ahead and took as a group, as they have officially quit for at least the summer, probably longer, quit the game. So there wasn't really anything going on in that world at all. And when it comes to Global Conflict 2, the big news is that House 1 has pretty much taken over the entirety of Russia, as I sort of figured they would. They are definitely a force to be reckoned with in this world. But enough of that, because I have some news that I spent a lot of time, I spent the last week thinking on this, and I've decided to terminate this report. Now, I know some of you might be disappointed to hear that, but the problem is it was something that I started to dread doing. This video, this weekly report, was something that would take me 2 afternoons approximately. So I would start on Saturday, and I would, research the various political happenings in the past week, and then, of course, I record the video Saturday night, early Sunday, then I edit it and upload it Sunday afternoon. So that pretty much took care of my weekend, if you know what I mean. That is something that I dedicated every weekend for the last 6 months or so to doing. And the problem is I'm not having fun doing it anymore. It's something I dread looking forward to, and that's not how my weekends should be. So it was it was something I started viewing as a job, and that was from a position that I before approached as a hobby. So when something is a hobby, I want it to be fun. I have to enjoy doing it for me to continue doing it. If I have a job, I understand that it's not always going to be interesting or fun, and that's to be expected because it's a job. I'm not going to be doing a hobby that I feel like I'm doing a job for. I'm not being paid at all to do any of this stuff, so I would have to actually be compensated to do it, and I'm not interested in any of that. So what I'm going to be doing is pretty much discontinuing the report from here on. And another thing is I wasn't really satisfied with these last few episodes. I was not satisfied with the end quality of the content. I don't know if any of you have actually noticed any difference in the quality of reporting, but I was not happy with it. And everything that I put out is stuff that I myself would watch. If I wouldn't watch it, I wouldn't ever expect anybody else to watch it. Your time is important, and I'm not interested in wasting it. So if I wouldn't waste my time watching something, why would I expect you to do that? It's a pretty ridiculous and unreasonable expectation. So I only put out content that I would watch, and these last few videos I felt like I've had nothing interesting, nothing insightful to say about the world. It's pretty much all determined in Global Conflict 1. I tried moving over to Global Conflict 2. We're kind of having a repeat of the same thing, and I'm not good at networking. So Global Conflict 2, I started out, had no real connections in the world, and I have to reach out every single week to all these different houses, and that exhausts me as somebody who is generally an introverted person. And that is not an activity that I consider rewarding. It's not something that energizes me. I enjoy doing things on my own, and that is generally the direction that my content will take in the future. I think is pretty much just stuff that I'm doing on my own, with minimal interaction with other people in the game and whatnot. So if you don't like that, I'm sorry, but in the end, I have to do what I consider to be best for really myself, and I'm not interested in doing this every weekend anymore. So I will continue to cover Stronghold Kingdoms in the sense that going back to basics, maybe doing more tutorials. I enjoy doing tutorials where I can demonstrate how the game mechanics work and stuff. That was always fun for me, but actually collaborating with other people, having to work with other people, not real big on that point. And I just like the idea that I am, passing my knowledge on to those of you who are learning the game. That is really what I found rewarding about the idea of creating these videos in the first place. And I would like to get back more to that. I'm not a very good news reporter, and I think that's sort of the direction that I started taking with Global Conflict 1. And on the positive, I did get a good amount of tension from the houses in that world. So I think it helped bring awareness to some of the tutorials that I had put out and stuff, and hopefully that will, increase interest in them, so players who are new to the game might be more likely recommended my videos because the other house leaders have found them and found them to be of suitable quality to actually recommend. And that's a good thing, because word of mouth is really usually some of the best promotion that you can get. So I'm not saying that it was an undertaking that I regretted at all, but these past, I would say, last 8 weeks, I've become increasingly disinterested in what's going on, and it's really not any one particular thing, but the opening of Global Conflict 2, I think, sort of sealed the deal for me, and I felt as if, I was starting over again. It was like I had lost all of that progress that I've been working on, and I tried it. I tried moving to a combined report, but now Global Conflict 1 is just so dead, and I don't see what's going to be happening here. People who are following the first one can't find this one, for example. And I thought I did everything that I could to point it out where it is and stuff, but I guess I'm not all that good at promotion. So that is where you are. That's where you're stuck with it. So no, I'm not disappointed. I think it was a great run. I enjoyed most of it. And I appreciate everybody who watched and supported it, really. Just there was a lot of positive feedback from it. Apparently it helped clue a lot of players in, but I'm not sure it's just not a direction I want to take anymore. It's something that isn't interesting or fun to me because of the demands of it. I would rather work on content that I am personally proud of and I actually look forward to doing, because if I dread doing something, it's going to come out in the end product. It's like it's like the crunch period for video game development, where a lot of industries would, for pushing a deadline, make their employees work overtime. And it just stifles creativity. The end product is not as good as if it comes from somebody who is interested and engaged. And that is where I'm at it with this. That's where I'm at with this. So I understand this might be a bit of a ramble, but I wanted to make sure I was as incisive as possible to let you know exactly what was going on here. And I do appreciate, like I said, all your support. Thank you very much, as always, for watching, and I hope you do stick around for further stuff. I will be making more Stronghold Kingdoms content. I'm not done with the game. It's just I'm done with this report. I'm done reporting on these worlds. It has been a learning experience for me, and I hope you came away with some sense of value from it. I would imagine you would, otherwise you wouldn't bother subscribing. And that's pretty much where we're at with that. Thanks for watching.